Dabs and Show. This time we're doing Dabs and Doritos, with a little tax mixed in, of course, but this is primarily going to be focusing on the Doritos and the Dabs. So today we're going to be trying one flavor, and I'm going to let Paul talk about that a little bit more.
So today we've had some Kush Mint graciously donated to us by one of our sponsors, Volcano Concentrates, and Volcano Concentrates has given us a fine Kush Mint that's in these bags right now, and that Kush Mint is going to be paired against 8 different styles of chips. We have 6 different Dorito flavors and then 2 of the limited drop Lay's Doritos and Lay's Cheetos. So excited to try them and pair them against this Kush Mint.
This is just too tasty, to say the least. I am elated every time I talk, or every time I talk about this, every time I smoke it. The Kush Mints is just another level in itself. Oh man, I can't wait to get started. And speaking of dabs, we're gonna take a quick peek at the Kush Mints we were talking about earlier. I'm sorry, I had to smell it, you guys. It is what it is. So we got this beautiful Kush Mints right here. I mean, just look at that color, that consistency, and if you could smell it, you'd be in heaven like I am right now.
Give a shout out to this show's sponsor right here, Illuminar Lighting out of California. Illuminar has been in business for 20 years. They transferred from CMH and HPS lighting to LED lighting, and let me tell you what, their new LED lights are awesome. Scott Roubaix is the representative that we're connected with here in Michigan. Follow Scott on Instagram and Illuminar Lighting on Instagram to see their technology and their take on LED lighting in this awesome industry that we're in. While we're getting these bags filled, I am super excited. The first round of chips we're going to try today, and we're not only going to try these chips with the pairing, we're also going to review them, because I think an extensive review of the chips is the way to go. You know, how many times in the world has somebody sat down and truly reviewed chips for corporations? And I'm a huge fan of Doritos. I've been eating Cool Ranch my whole life, and time or two it's been a meal, and I'm very excited. So
I mean, my question is really, how many times have you seen people get stoned and then try this stuff and pair it with a dab? I mean, plenty of us have gotten stoned and enjoyed some cannabis and like, man, I got the munchies, I gotta try these chips right now. Well, we're gonna give that a shot right now. So let's try some of these Kush Mints first. Beautiful flavor, of course. Grab one of these Doritos. We got the Nacho Cheese. Okay. Okay. Interesting.
that's good.
I don't know how I feel about it with the kind of minty Kush start to then layer on some cheese. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not sure I would put Kush Mints against nacho cheese like on a regular basis. But it's definitely a contender. Very curious to see how it pairs with some Cool Ranch. Can you pass me? So, speaking of making sure that we're doing this correctly, we looked into it a little bit and made sure we got some water crackers to do some palate cleansing in between, because I know myself, that nacho cheese stuck in my mouth right now, and that's all I can taste. I've had a little bit of Kush Mints with it.
A thought on the nacho cheese Doritos. A fine cheesy flavor, nice, subtle chip ending. And you get the slight notes of mint and the gassiness from the Kush Mint. Chippy paradise. The nacho cheese are not my most favorite Dorito. They're definitely in the top 5 of nostalgic childhood memory Doritos. That's for sure. All right.
Same here. I like nacho cheese Doritos. Don't get me wrong. But Doritos started strong and then just kept stepping their game up, in my opinion. Because the next one is going to be one of my favorites. So there is that. So I will let you guys know I am a big fan of Cool Ranch. And that's part of why we decided to get these Lay's Cool Ranch Doritos and kind of see, like, do they really compare well? Are they similar? Or is it a completely different flavor with a potato chip versus a more corn chip? Alright. Palate's cleansed. Might have to load up some Kush Mints real quick.
Alright, for the next bag.
For the next bag.
Alright.
Alright.
Doritos Cool Ranch. Fine classic. As I lick the seasoning off this chip, I reminisce on all the times as I was a child, laying on the living room floor of my parents' home, licking the seasoning of Cool Ranch Dorito chips. Fine memories indeed.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the flavor of Cool Ranch. Like, I don't know what those green and red specks are, but they're green and red specks of heaven, in my opinion, because, licking that off your fingers, it's another thing all itself.
Somebody in the comments to tell us what the green and red specks are, that would be awesome.
Yeah, if someone could please educate us, because...
I want to know what that flavor is. Doritos Corporation. Let's put it in a bottle so I can put it on my food.
Oh
you know?
my gosh, that would be so good. That actually makes... I'm not trying to plug anybody else here, but it makes me think of this dust I saw recently. So I was going through Instagram or Facebook, one of the two, I don't know. And I saw it was Twix dust, where they came out with basically Twix flavored sprinkle topping. You can put on stuff, right? I was fucking floored. I couldn't even believe it. I was so excited. I'm like, this sounds just beyond good.
Wow.
So I haven't tried it yet, but apparently that's out there.
All right. Let's see how the Cool Ranch pairs with the Kush Mint.
Yeah. Oh man. Even the cracker clearing the palate for the Kush Mints is just something else too. Man, that flavor. Okay. Let's try some of this Cool Ranch.
You know, I don't think the gassy notes of the Kush Mint agree very well with the Cool Ranch.
Yeah. What the hell? I'm actually kind of surprised at the fact that I'm not enjoying this chip right now.
No, I'm gonna have to do here.
We're gonna have to go. I'm shocked right now.
2 bags.
This is a 2-bagger. I can't even.
This is definitely gonna have to be a 2-bagger. Because
Kush Mints, don't tell me you tried to ruin Cool Ranch for me.
folks, right here, what we have is a fine lesson. When something just doesn't mix with something else, it happens.
And it's surprising.
It's all
sometimes.
life, it happens.
Shoot. I did not see this coming in the slightest. I did not see.
You know, like lamb and tuna fish.
I'm just such a big fan of Cool Ranch. The fact that Cool Ranch doesn't taste good with something kind of floors me a little bit.
You know, it happens. It happens.
Yeah,
you know.
but that's exactly what I thought. Yeah. Shoot.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna have to keep. I'm gonna have to go. Oh wow, wow. So this is.
Oh,
I don't know if you can see the close up of this chip. But
yeah.
for a guy that licking seasoning off chips.
Look at that chip.
Yeah. It's a good time. It's a good time. Yep. Call me a chip licker. I don't care. That tastes amazing.
I've never seen anybody eat chips like you do, and it fascinates me. But the way you enjoy chips is unlike anybody else, because you you almost like, I don't know how to. The best way to put it, I say, is like, you know how like they say like squeeze the most out of life.
I'm squeezing.
That's what I mean. Like
Squeezing the hell out of it here in Balltown.
I see you eating chips. It's just like you're squeezing the most that you can get out of that chip, like just the epitome of what it can be.
Yeah. So,
and that is just so fascinating to me.
You insert all the flavor of the chip into your taste buds, and you take a hit, and you let the concentrate coat your tongue. You get a nice flavoring. Everything mixes.
See, this is truly showing how organic it is. I almost poked my eye out just taking that. Ow.
Yeah, I don't think the Kush Mint is the perfect match for Cool Ranch.
I'm gonna try the Cool Mint.
It boded well with the nachos. I think the low notes of the nachos, coupled with the the lower minty, gassy notes of the Kush Mint, mixed well. But I don't know. I think that the ranch, that high. It's like a high pitch. I call it a high note. It's like it's a sharp upper. It's like that vinegary.
The creamy.
Obviously, it's not vinegar, but
like the creaminess and the ranchness don't pair well with it.
Yeah, it's like creamy gas.
Yeah, and I mean, love me some gas for sure. And
Not
I love me some
gas.
creaminess, but like.
Interesting
That
flavor,
would be what
don't
I'm
get me
going
wrong,
with.
but it's not the pairing I would hope for.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. Ooh, I'm a little surprised and a little disappointed, honestly. Like, wow. All right, I'm surprised. Like this.
And not that we say the whole world wouldn't like it, but in this perfect moment in time,
we're both
Kush Mint and Cool Ranch has not been palpable. So
that's just not our jam.
yeah. But a review of the Cool Ranch Dorito. This particular bag of Cool Ranch Doritos, they've done an excellent job of super seasoning each individual piece, and the red and green abundance makes me feel good, especially licking it off.
See, and at the same time, if any of you go out there and you get some Kush Mints from your local dispensary, and you try some Cool Ranch Doritos, and you find it is the best thing in the world,
Tell us about it.
tell us about it. Blow up the comments, blow up the DMs, let us know, because if you feel like we screwed up, maybe we gotta do this again. Try it again. I mean, I don't know. Like, we tried a few times, but you never know.
Now the flavors just not seem to melting this time. But that's with Cool Ranch. I highly recommend Cool Ranch Doritos. They're still my favorite Dorito. And if somebody in the comments can please tell me what the green and red stuff is, be greatly appreciated.
Very
Moving
much
on
so.
to the next flavor. Mr. Terp CPA, if you want to get us another bag, we can. Oh, what we got here? We got Spicy Nacho. Okay. So we got.
This bag. Brand new. If you're just finding us on the second episode, we're happy that you're here, because you know what? We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So we really appreciate you coming in and finding out what different Doritos pair well with this Kush Mints right now.
All right. So my first take on the Spicy Nacho Dorito, I'm not a fan.
Okay. That's understandable. I like them, but I also like spicy things. So
Yeah.
that's the other thing too. It definitely has a kick to it. I want to try that. Okay.
It does have a little
Palate,
bit of
palate cleansed. Do some Kush. Oh shit! Sorry, I almost fucking jumped out of that bag.
It's okay.
Well coated, well coated. The mint just comes out so strong. I love it. Oh shit! Shit. High moment right there. Wrong shit. Jeez. All right.
Oh, okay.
Let's try the spicy nacho.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if the heat and the heat from the chip complement each other very well.
Okay.
Because like your mouth's hot and then you get hot vapor in it.
I
Tell me what you think.
Honestly, I'm of a different opinion. In this case, I think the spiciness of the nacho with the cheese pairs better with the Kush Mints than the nacho itself. I think the spiciness actually kind of plays well with the Kush. And almost adds it's almost like they become a medley of herb.
Have you hit it since you've eaten the chip?
No, I have not.
Yeah. Do a fresh one. The only reason I say that is because once your mouth starts to experience what they use to make that spicy, the rawness in your mouth from the heat and even simple heat of the dab, pulling in air, to me it just felt hotter.
Gotcha.
Like I was breathing in fire.
Yeah, so
and like if you like spicy, more power to you.
Yeah, like how
I hate spicy. I'm a child. I hate spicy food. Those spicy chips are probably like the limits of my spiciness, my spice girlness. I'm an E.
I mean, how I kind of look at it is, it's like the opposite of bong water. Bong water cools the smoke. The spicy nacho, in this case, sounds like it's heating it up for you and actually making
it makes the sensation feel hotter.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, like pepper spray in your eyes.
Okay, so maybe pairing spiciness with smoking isn't good during, but maybe just after. Like, so maybe the flavor is good, but the actual the effects it has on your body, is just not for the smoking experience.
I have to do one more. Give this chip a proper review. I know El Presidente of Barstool, he does the one bite. David, we have a slight differing of opinion. I'm a large human. I require more than one bite. So, Tyler, your thoughts?
Okay, I took a healthy hit.
Yeah,
mind you.
I seen it.
But I am in complete agreement. It was a little more harsh, to say the least, than
it just makes it hotter.
It adds to the dryness, the spiciness. It's not. Excuse me. For a smoking experience.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna smoke after, I wouldn't recommend it. If you're gonna smoke before and then eat these, I highly recommend Kush Mints with it. And I think honestly, when it comes down to the strain, it's not gonna matter what strain you're smoking after. I think the before will definitely matter. I think what you smoke before eating these spicy nacho, will definitely be a yay or nay, or good or bad for you. But I don't see it really mattering afterwards, like what strain you're smoking or whatever. Like you can smoke a bong or something to cool it down, cool your cannabis down, but otherwise there's not really, I don't think, a different strain that I can think of that has a cooling effect regardless.
So my opinion on my review of the spicy nacho, I'm not a fan of spicy. I didn't really taste any cheese. It was just spicy notes, and with that coupled with the dab coming in, the Kush Mints had that really amazing Kush Minty flavor, but I don't want a spicy Kush Mints. I don't think the spice with the Kush Mints the right choice. The right choice, yeah. And I forgot to cleanse my palate after the Cool Ranch, so I'm gonna remember that for this time. Here we got ourselves Cars.
All right.
Cars table water crackers, original.
Didn't they get a free plug? Whatever. All right. So one thing I want to bring up today, while we have a little bit of a lull, is 471. Okay, and that's going to be one of the most important tax codes for cannabis business owners to know. Whether you're a dispensary owner, whether you're a processor, whether you're a grower, 471 really matters. Now, which one matters to you is going to depend on what your business is. So if you're a dispensary owner, 471-3 is really going to be what matters to you. Excuse me. 471-3 tells you exactly what kind of costs you can include. And as we kind of talked about in the first episode, dispensaries from what I know and what I've read and all the laws are getting the rawest end of the deal. They are limited to the invoice price of that cannabis, as well as the cost of transport and any other necessary cost to get it to you. Otherwise, you're not allowed the cost of your bud tenders, the cost of your rent, the cost of your utilities, the cost of any other business expense that any other business owner who's non-cannabis touching would be allowed. And that to me is just so wrong and so frustrating as an accountant to see the IRS think these businesses are legitimate enough to allow it to just kind of happen under their quote unquote watch, but at the same time just honestly on some level take advantage of these companies. They know these companies are going to be making money hand over fist. The IRS, from my understanding, has had to build new rooms and facilities to hold all the cash they're receiving from these companies because there's so much cash. Because they're stuck. They're not allowed to bank. These companies are not allowed to bank, regardless of if you're if you're processing, if you're a dispensary, it doesn't matter. They're not allowed to bank in a lot of areas in a lot of banks. So they're stuck, and that's why they were paying all these bills in cash. Like, the IRS doesn't want to deal with cash. They'd love to take your money still. They'd still love to take that $250,000, $700,000. They'd still love to take that, no problem. But do they really want to deal with the cash? No. So I think that's part of why the Safe Banking Act is kind of getting the push and possibly heading in the right direction to where they're going to allow safe banking, quote unquote, or banking for the cannabis industry, to where they're going to allow the JP Morgans, the Wells Fargos, the big banks out there to be in the game and service this industry without any sort of risk. Because that's, I think, in my opinion, what's holding them all back is it's still federally illegal. So they're like, oh, no, you guys touch things we don't want to be around. You have all this money for us, but we don't want it because of the fear of the IRS, because they're all FDIC insured. So they're all federally insured. So to risk that isn't worth it in their opinion, from my understanding. So why bother? And so for that is what is really important for a lot of business owners and a lot of dispensary owners. Going back to it, 471 and 471-3 in particular is what is going to be important for business owners to capture the most amount of cost of goods sold for their tax return as possible to minimize their tax liability, because it's just not worth the pain that you go through if you're not keeping track of your cost of goods sold correctly and efficiently. And so for that, we're going to go on to 471-11, which is for processors, growers, and anyone else who actually does production kind of work. And we'll talk about that more after the next kind of hearing. So let's get away from all the boring stuff. I know that is a little boring, I get it. Tax isn't the most fun, but it is something you need to know as a business owner. So please feel free to reach out to me at Joint Accounting PLLC. I am the Terp CPA. He is Paul the Prophet, and we're going to get back to these pairing of chips. All right, let me fill this bag.
Salsa Verde.
Oh, okay.
Another kind of spicy one.
I was going to say, I had a feeling that was going to be another spicy one.
Yeah.
Is it that bad? I'm just asking because I don't remember the Salsa Verde personally.
It's another new chip for me.
Okay. Doesn't look heavily seasoned from here. But I wonder if it's like the color of the seasoning itself.
You know what?
It's probably green.
It's in my nose now.
Oh, no! You do not want
the nose knows.
And it knows it don't want it right now.
Yeah, I'm yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Salsa Verde Doritos. I don't think I like it very much.
That's fair. That is completely fair. Like, I can definitely appreciate that. I've never tried them, so I'm curious to see. Oh, shoot. Didn't do a pack. My palate.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Make sure you clean your palate. So for palate cleansers, you can get drinks, you can get crackers. You can get all sorts of different things. Just Google palate cleansers. If you're gonna do this, I highly recommend it because it does make a difference. It does clear your palate.
Okay. So,
Okay.
sorry, I'm
Go ahead. Organically full, what?
Kush Mint kind of goes with it.
Okay.
Yeah. It like,
See, I wonder if it's the spice, because the spice.
yeah, it's a total different spice mix from the spicy nachos.
But still,
Yeah, it's like a spicy salsa.
yeah, that makes sense.
Is that what Verde is?
No, Verde is green. That's why it's I think salsa verde
So maybe,
So it's
but
green
salsa,
salsa.
but salsa is.
or sauce. I mean, not, that's
mm.
what it stands for. So it sounds like a green sauce. From please, if anybody speaks better Spanish than my 4 years of high school, correct me if I'm wrong on what salsa verde means. I'm pulling knowledge from way too long ago right now.
Yeah, it's like I'm not a fan of the spice, but when paired with the Kush Mint, it was quite delightful.
Okay. I'm definitely curious.
I'm not a fan of the chip by itself, but when paired with a fine Kush Mint bag, I must say, so
I do declare.
I do declare.
Could you give me a mouthpiece? Or do you have a mouthpiece over there?
Yes, I can.
Alright. Thanks, sir. Alright. Palate cleanse. Let's try this shit. Let's try this stuff.
All right.
Ooh. Great. To me, great Kush start with a minty finish. So good every time.
Now with the chip.
Let's try with the chip.
Get your tongue nice and covered, and then just blast it with vapor. I gotta say,
And just on licking the chip
the
alone,
green mixed with green very well.
I was gonna say,
But yeah, licking the chip alone, thoughts?
the chip alone, I like it enough. Like it's a little more earthy. Like it's definitely more earthy than this one, and I think that's
It
probably.
tastes nothing like the spicy nacho.
Oh no!
There
night-
are spice notes,
night and day.
but it tastes nothing like the spicy nacho.
And so this is surprising me. Okay.
I'm gonna reset.
And this makes me wonder what kind of spice difference there is between these two, because the pull from the bag was not as
Didn't feel hot.
hot as when you had the spicy nacho. Like the spicy nacho definitely increased the spiciness, increased the hotness of the inhale a lot more. And I'm surprised how well this is going together, because this is like, wow, this is really, really, really nice together. Like, holy moly.
Yeah, I'm very, very, very happy about this discovery, because I would never eat that chip by itself. But paired with a Kush Mint, I'd eat the hell out of that. You can smoke and eat at the same time, and they really do complement each other well.
I honestly wonder if it's the earthiness. Like, the earthiness of that flavor goes so well with that Kush.
Well, that's why the first one, the nachos, is it's like that cheese is like, I don't want to say the cheese terpene is earthy, but it wasn't like a really high pitch. Like the Cool Ranch has, it's like if the taste was a sound, it would be high pitched.
Oh, you know what I wonder? If it's the corn, like the tortilla like chip underneath that comes through stronger on the nacho.
Maybe.
That makes it pair well. So like the earthy
The
kind of
seasonings
ground-
are much more present on the Cool Ranch.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say this. I don't know how they come up with how the chips get dusted, but like the nacho it's a dust. The Cool Ranch, it's like a nice fine speckling.
Yeah.
The spicy was a dust speckling mix. And
Yeah,
then
it's like a
the
tumbler.
salsa verde is like micro dust.
And the salsa verde, excuse me, looks almost like it doesn't have any seasoning on it. Like it's kind of weird. Like,
And then you
if
look at it
didn't
and
look
realize
inside
you
the
are
bag-
mistaken.
Man, yeah. It's definitely a good one. So so far, out of these four, we got the Nacho Cheese, the Cool Ranch, Spicy Nacho, and Salsa Verde to kind of recap. And the Salsa Verde, surprisingly, is the winner right now. Like, out of the four we've tried, the Salsa Verde has paired the best with the
Yeah,
Kush Mints.
halfway through, halfway update. Let's have a conversation now.
Yeah.
So, review real quick on the Salsa Verde, just to cap this. Salsa Verde chip as alone, I'm not a fan. I think there's almost too many competing flavors in the chip. Like you went for a spicy salsa, and you tried to get the spice and the salsa, and then you tried to get like the green spice salsa, and I don't know, I just think they went for too much on a chip.
Okay.
But paired with Kush Mint,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, that flavor and, I gotta say effect, I feel great.
Oh, yeah.
We're 4 bags in, 8 bags in, I lost count, to be honest
Honestly,
with
I have
you.
no
But
idea how many
the
we're in, but
Salsa Verde
it's okay.
paired with the Kush Mint, I think they complemented each other very, very well, and it was a very nice, almost therapeutic experience, I gotta say. It just felt good. They tasted good, they complemented each other. So my review of the chip is horrible, but the pairing, great pairing. Say out of the first 4, the 2 that paired the best, the Salsa Verde and the, what is that Nacho Cheese. The worst pairing of all of them was the Spicy Nacho.
Yeah.
And then in the middle there was Cool Ranch. It's only in the middle because Spicy Nacho existed. If Spicy Nacho didn't exist, that would have been the worst one. But
this is actually, I was going to say, this is actually coming from Paul's perspective, just so we're on the same page, because I did have a little bit of a different opinion on the Spicy Nacho.
oh yeah, no, this is just my
I just realized
perspective.
that. I'm like,
yeah, this is just my perspective on the 4. Tyler, what is your perspective?
Oh, yeah. So mine was very similar in a lot of ways. So we definitely came to an agreement on Salsa Verde, that earthiness of the salsa on this chip, as well as the Kush. It just pairs so well, and you don't see it coming. Like, at least I didn't see it coming. I don't know. To me,
It's amazing.
I thought the standout was going to be the Cool Ranch because that's my go-to personally.
Like,
And
think of yourself on a Sunday, Salsa Verde and Dabs.
so my second favorite would actually be the Spicy Nacho, and that's only
Your second favorite.
So just hear me out, and that's only if you do the Kush Mint first. Only,
Okay.
not after. Do
Yeah.
not do it after, because the spice on this does make it more harsh. It does make it a more unpleasant inhale. Don't do that. But if you smoke, or if you enjoy your concentrates or your smoke first, then to me the spice on that pairs well with the Kush and the earthiness of it, and does enhance the flavor. And I enjoy spice, so that's part of it too. Like, I enjoy spiciness. So the spiciness didn't bother me until I hit the bag again.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was just like, this isn't really what I'm about. Like, let's not go there. But
Spice almost makes your mouth a little raw.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, mine rested like in the back of my throat is where my spice ended up at, and I was just like, this isn't pleasant. But I do think if you smoke it before and then eat the Spicy Nacho, that to me is really tasty. My third was the Nacho. The Nacho is, I think as we were talking about it, we kind of came to what might be the reason. I think the corn chip is a little more pronounced than the actual cheese dust itself when it comes to the flavor. So I think that pairs well with the Kush, because so far the trend I'm seeing is the earthy notes, the spices are really what are pairing well, because the one thing that didn't pair well to me was the Cool Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
The more refreshing, the more creamy, the, like, I don't know, the
It was like onion high notes. You know what I'm saying?
like Western of the ones of all of them. Like,
it was very Cool Ranchy.
it was very Cool Ranch.
But I love Cool Ranch. I just don't think it paired well with the Kush Mint.
That's what I was going to say too, is like, I love Cool Ranch, and that's why I was shocked that I'm actually putting this last right now out of these 4, because I didn't enjoy the experience at all. It ruined both sides. Like,
Yeah.
it made the smoke unpleasant, it made the chips unpleasant. Like, it wasn't worth it. So I highly don't recommend pairing Kush Mints with Cool Ranch, but I highly recommend personally pairing it with the Salsa Verde. Paul does as well.
Yes.
And for myself, because I like spice. So if you like spice and you do it first, I'm going to keep us making that point. You need to do it first. Do not smoke after, unless you clear your palate, you
drink some water, something like that to kind of clear that out, because it will make the smoke more harsh. But otherwise, pair it with this if you like spice, and if you're just kind of in the mood for a little bit of nostalgia, a little bit of comfort that still pairs well with the Kush Mints, go for the nacho cheese. I mean, that would be my assessment.
A big shout out to this episode's sponsors, Illuminar Lighting, Joint Accounting PLLC, Huron Botanicals LLC, and Volcano Concentrates. Yeah, the Doritos brand taco flavor.
I don't remember if that has spice or not, so I just want to forewarn you. I've had it once or twice before, but I don't remember wanting to go back. So I'm curious to see how it actually pairs. While you're enjoying that chip, let's talk some more about 471-11. So 471-11 is going to apply to the cultivators, processors, and manufacturers. And you guys are afforded the most cost of goods sold, which is the only quote-unquote deduction. And I say quote-unquote because in the eyes of the IRS, cost of goods sold is not a deduction, it's a return on capital. And that's why it's allowed under 280E, which is 280E, let me cover that real quick. I don't want to breeze past that. 280E is the tax code, the one sentence that disallows all deductions for Schedule 1 trafficking of drugs, which currently under federal law, cannabis is still under Schedule 1. So anybody trafficking, quote unquote, well, I should say not quote unquote, trafficking in cannabis is not allowed any deductions for your tax return under 280E. What you are allowed, as to reiterate, is to your cost of goods sold, which is looked at as a return on capital. So the cost of goods sold you are allowed to include are going to include several different items, which a lot of you will know this if you're a processor, manufacturer, grower. But if you're new to this, let's talk about it a little bit more. So your direct materials, so all the materials that have to go into the actual input of the product. So if you're a processor, part of those materials could be the gases you use in your machines. They could be the material itself, so the cannabis. The cannabis that you're processing would be a direct material, for example. Freight in. So the cost of transporting in this direct material, getting the stuff in, you're going to incur some costs as well, so that is also allowed. Your direct labor, the people who are working on this stuff, so the people who are putting it all together, who are working on the lines for you, who are putting the packaging together, who are putting together your edible packaging, who are putting together all your processing, or all your concentrate packaging, all that kind of stuff is going to be your direct labor. You got direct labor overtime, fringe benefits, payroll taxes, holiday and vacation pay, and workers' compensation. I go through those a little bit more quickly just because they're the standard things that come along with direct labor and the wages that could be paid to an employee. The one thing I do really appreciate about this is some of these items do kind of incentivize, in my opinion, the employer to treat the employee in a different way than some other companies may be incentivized, like a dispensary. A dispensary is not incentivized, in my opinion, based on how the tax code is written, to pay their bud tenders a good salary or a high salary, because they're not, or a high wage or salary, because they're not allowed to deduct any of that. So what incentive would I have as a business owner, besides the goodwill of my employees? Some employers care about that, some don't, and that's just a matter of fact. And so if they care about that, they're still going to probably pay their employees well. We know some dispensaries that do pay their employees quite well. But at the same time, their bud tenders quite well. There could be others who feel that they're not incentivized. Well, if I can't get a deduction on my tax return for this, why am I paying Joe, Sue, Sally right off the street $20 an hour to bud tend for me? Well, why would I do that? Well, right now, I mean, I understand with the labor shortage, I don't have much of a choice. But in general, the tax code really doesn't give any incentives to do so. So going back to it, one more thing I want to bring up are subcontractor costs and temporary labor. So your 1099 employees that you hire related to this manufacturing, growing, processing, all this different kind of stuff. Those employees can also be included in your cost of goods sold. So let's get back to the pairing these chips. I know that was a lot of information, so again, please feel free to reach out to me at Joint Accounting PLLC on Instagram, as well as my website or on Facebook. Any of those outlets are more than fine. Feel free to reach out. I'm also available, I meant to bring this up before, at tpalmer at jointaccountingplc.com. Feel free to email me with any questions. I'm happy to answer any tax questions because I don't want to feel like you're left out in the dust because you were just misinformed or just didn't know better. So I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me, and let's get back to pairing these chips with some dabs.
These are awesome.
Oh, I didn't even realize I kind of lost you.
I'm in here. I know you were talking about the tax stuff. I get it. It's very important.
But he is
And I didn't want to take away from that because it's very important. My job is getting the pen here, eating these chips, and I've never had these before. So I wanted to give them an honest review because after the second chip, I was like, ooh, I think I need a third.
What do you think? So you're a fan of the chips in the
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see how it pairs then.
It is taco-y. It's like,
Does it taste just like essentially like they took taco seasoning and put it on a chip?
kind of, but
Okay.
a little bit more like burrito beanie and less like meaty. Maybe that's the cheese. Maybe that's the cheese mixing with like the chili powder.
Well, that makes sense. I wonder if they had like a beef flavor in there or not. So I feel like that's not included in like quote unquote taco flavoring in general. Like because the beef is what you add it to. Or like you add the seasoning to the beef. So like the beef in itself, I don't know if it would even make sense for them to have it. Ooh, words. Having a moment. All right.
What's right here? All good.
That's why they have those valves.
And this is why the bags are plastic and the valves are plastic. Rather than pass a bong between you and your friends that could drop and break, dab bags. You drop something like this and it doesn't break. See? Not broken. Heck yeah. They fly really cool. All right, yeah, okay. All right, so this is for you, David Portnoy. You have the one bite challenge. I have the one lick challenge.
The one lick challenge. I love it. How well these water crackers are a great palate cleanser. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a little.
Yeah.
Shoot! No!
Technical difficulties.
Shoots.
AirPod down. I apologize for anybody who is getting just straight shots of my butt.
My bad. Jeez. Alright. I'm gonna put that back in my ear. Alright.
Yeah.
I apologize for that, everyone.
Yeah, that tastes absolutely amazing.
Okay, and that makes sense to me. Like, it seems like this ones with the spices are just really pairing well. That earthiness with the spices just.
I'm like, right now.
I'm about it. I'm excited. Definitely getting excited.
Yeah, as of now, this is definitely beating Salsa Verde.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm definitely intrigued.
Yeah. You get the cheese. They definitely use the same flavor from nacho cheese for sure. It's like nacho cheese flavoring with like a beef chili flavoring.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, then you get the Kush Mint.
Alright, let's
And
do this.
that earthiness chip.
Cook the palate. Enjoy the dab.
Enjoy the exhale. I can't even. Alright. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So you know, 2 chip, 1 dab. So you do dab first. I do chip first.
Okay.
It's a good perspective because some people do the dab first. Some people eat the chip first.
That's fair. I didn't even realize that you were doing that. Huh. I think it goes well together. I guess it's possibly the difference in our palates, though, because I still like the salsa verde more, and that could be just because I like the spice of it a little bit of kick. Because to me, the salsa verde is not as spicy as the spicy nacho, and that was
That's
nice.
agreeable.
And that was nice because it's like it's just enough of a kick to be pleasant and not ruin the smoke.
See, I'm one of those, I don't like spice at all, folks. So it's like,
And that's why I figured it might be a difference in our palates.
I think that's you nailed it. To a T. That's exactly what it is. Just a difference in the preferences. We got a Black Hawk down. We got a Black Hawk down.
Man.
Woo! Man.
That's what everybody wants to listen to. Me coughing.
Okay, bam. Yeah. So, what do you think of the chip? Review of Doritos tortilla chips with taco flavor, produced by Frito-Lay Incorporated, Plano, Texas. Frito-Lay North America Inc. C 2010.
I like it overall. I do agree. It does kind of have like a. Does like compare it to an actual item, like a bean and cheese kind of burrito vibe. Like maybe even
There is a bean flavor. Is that like protein?
or
You
something.
want to do like protein powder to make that? I thought it was a bean. I always felt like a burrito.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, or even like a burrito supreme or something with like even sour cream and stuff like that. Like, there's definitely like a creaminess to it. I enjoy it. It pairs well with the earthiness of the Kush. I still think that the salsa. Shoot.
Okay. Now we got
I'm
another one.
actually.
We're gonna do another one.
I might be going as far as moving spicy nacho above taco.
That's fucking bad.
I know. I'm surprised right now, but yeah.
We have to have somebody who represents all the spice lovers in the world. Okay, I'm a child.
Apparently, I did. Yeah. All right. If I was gonna rank them, if I had to rank them as it sits right now, ooh,
Yeah,
that's fair.
that was a good one. That was a good one.
That is very fair. So if I had to rank them, these would probably be where I'd rank them right now. So from last to best, we got Cool Ranch, Nacho, Taco. So I think the Taco definitely has a step up. The nostalgia is great with the Nacho, but the Taco does bring more to the table, a lot more to the table than the Nacho does. So I like that a lot more. I'm a big spice person, so the spice on this just pairs so well if you smoke before. And I only say that just because I would hate to have someone be like, man, I tried it and it was awful. No. I don't want anybody to be hitting up the DMs and the comments being like, oh my god, you said it was such a good combination and no, it's not. Did you listen to the directions though? I was intentional. I want you to smoke first, eat last, in this one in particular. And then we have Salsa Verde. Salsa Verde to me, definitely still just the winner. Like, and that's just, I don't know, like the spice is perfect because it's not too in your face, because so the spicy nacho to me, the spice kind of overpowers the nacho, and so it's not as good as the salsa verde, where it's a healthy balance of the spices to the spiciness of it, where it's a great balance of both. But I want to see, if you had to rank them, what would yours be instead?
So, as of now,
That's fair.
I just right up, Rip. Cool Ranch did not go well with the Kush Mint. Just the different array of flavors presented. It was almost like system overload. I am a child. The spicy nachos just did not compliment me well, and I discovered the effect of doing chip then dab, because it's like the spice makes your mouth almost feel a little raw, and then you take in this, and it's not hot, but it's just warm enough to not be cold either, and your mouth takes that as hot, and it almost makes your mouth feel spicier. So I was not a fan of that feeling and how it contributed to my overall experience with the pairing.
That's very fair.
With that being said, though, nacho cheese hit me with the child nostalgia, and also was a nice, the cheese and the Kush Mint was just perfect. You know, we're gonna have to do a foreshadowing to a future episode, like a dabs and different types of cheeses, dabs and cheese. Do some different types of dabs and cheese pairings. You know,
Definitely.
foreshadowing future episode. Like and subscribe, please.
Oh yes, please like and subscribe. We've been on top of that the entire time. This is the first time we've said it. But please like, comment, subscribe.
So the salsa verde
Good job, Will.
was another really awesome, really awesome pairing. At first, on its own as chip, I'm not a very big fan of it as a standalone chip. But paired with the Kush Mint, the flavors finish really well together. And for whatever reason, the Kush Mint really adds like the finishing flavors to the salsa verde Dorito chip that I think really put it over the top. But the main standout of the five right now is Doritos tortilla chips taco flavor. You're right. It does kind of have like that burrito with some sour cream and I don't know. It's like the bean. You get the beans, but like that taco-y meaty.
Yeah.
It tastes. I know they definitely use the nacho cheese from the nacho cheese Doritos in this flavor package, because you get notes of the cheese, but it paired supremely well with Kush Mint, and just from my point of view, with my taste bud profile, and to transition in from where we're at right now in the standings, we move on to Tangy Pickle. A big shout out to this episode's sponsors: Illuminar Lighting, Joint Accounting PLLC, Huron Botanicals LLC, and Volcano Concentrates. Tangy Pickle chips are good. They have like a salt and vinegar vibe to them, so just from a review standpoint, chip-wise, they have a nice salt and vinegary feel to them. Let me step back.
I wonder if, you know what? I don't remember exactly how they taste, but I wonder if they basically flavored this and took a batch of their salt and vinegar chips and put dill on that and just ran with it. You know what I'm saying? Or do you feel like there's more to it? Honestly, I haven't tried one yet, so I gotta do that after I hit the bag real quick.
I can take it or leave it. It's not like it's like amazing, but it's not like bad either. Yeah, because like that salt and vinegar, it's real vinegary. Like it's over the top vinegary. when you compare it to the Cool Ranch, because like the onion notes of it, I feel like it's onion or something that gives it the Cool Ranch that.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So,
I wasn't a big fan of them last time. Pairing the two together makes me like the chip more. The vinegar to me right now, with the pairing, isn't as pronounced, doesn't stand out as like strong, and makes it a lot more of an appealing chip. Which I'm really appreciative of.
you know, I gotta say, it's almost like a better salt and vinegar chip.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's almost like a dill salt and vinegar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they don't make salt and vinegar chips. Wow. That shows you how gone I am because
They do now. Doritos. If you ever see this video, I want to see the Doritos salt and vinegar. And call it the Prophet's chips. Because I love salt and vinegar.
I was gonna say that actually might sell.
I love salt and vinegar chips. And man,
How
Doritos.
well is-
You like a salt and vinegar Cool Ranch, where you just add a little vinegar to the Cool Ranch.
Wow. Like I'm actually.
Bro, vinegar Cool Ranch. Listen, Doritos, hook a bro up. Throw a little vinegar on your Cool Ranch and call them the Prophet's Doritos. Special blend, limited edition, put out 1,000 bags. They'll sell like candy.
That'd be cool.
I'm a big fan of, dude, look at that Cool Ranch chip at the front. Look at the seasoning on that chip.
Oh yeah.
Very observant of the seasoning on these chips. All right, so I'm like Matt.
Wow.
I thought like, you know, if it was 0 plus or a 0 minus, I'm a Matt. I'm a 0. How do you feel?
I like it better than the taco, the nacho, and the Cool Ranch.
Oh wow, so that's at. Oh, but it's under the spicy.
It's under the spicy. It's number 3. It's definitely number 3. Wow. I'm like, and I think it's because of how much I didn't enjoy it last time, maybe, that it's basically flipped me 180.
Well,
And I'm really enjoying my experience with those Doritos right now paired with this. That I think that's part of why I'm giving it that high ranking.
yeah,
But I definitely top 3 right now.
very interesting, very interesting.
I'm a little bit shocked, to say the least. Actually, you know what? We're at the end of the Doritos.
Yeah. So this pairing for ranking is separate. The last two are just because they're limited edition, and we're a big fan of Doritos. So for the complete ranking on the Doritos for this episode of Dabs and Doritos, what was your ranking list? What was your and please everybody, if you disagree with us, if you think they would rank different, or if you ever have any Kush Mints and you want to try this at home and tell us we're wrong, or you think they'd rank differently, give us a comment in the comments. We always love getting feedback. What is your list, Tyler? What is your number 1?
Well, yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying. My list is gonna be okay. So my list, if I have to arrange these in order, is gonna be okay. So my official final list of the Dorito ranking against the Kush Mints as a strain is gonna be number 1, Salsa Verde. We got a champion in Salsa Verde, in my opinion. It is a reigning champion in my mind. And it may stay around. We never know. May come in the next episode of Dabs and Doritos. Got a Spicy Nacho as number 2 because I really enjoyed that spice. I'm gonna sit back down so I don't keep going now. Spicy Nacho. I really enjoyed the spice of that because it pairs well with the Kush. I think it's honestly one of the things that I've noticed across the board is the earthiness really does help the chip a lot. It doesn't lift every chip based on my rankings right now, but it does help a lot when paired with spice for me. Because I really enjoyed the spice. This was a great pairing of both spice and flavor. And this is a strong spice, but it pairs so well with the Kush Mints if you smoke the Kush Mints first. And then my third was definitely the Tangy Pickle. So Tangy Pickle to me
definitely, as I was kind of saying, was like a dill, salt, and vinegar. And that was really, really impressive how much I enjoyed it because of how much I just didn't enjoy it last time. When it comes to the tortilla chips, Doritos tortilla chips taco flavored, I definitely enjoy them. They definitely have like a burrito supreme kind of taste to me. You get the beans, the cheese, the not guac, sour cream, just like a bean and cheese burrito kind of thing. Definitely flavorful, definitely a good flavor. Step above the nacho cheese for sure because it has a lot more to work with, and definitely comes with a lot more. But just the tangy pickle, I don't know. There's something about it, like the like neutrality of how it like got rid of the vinegar overpoweredness to me really stood out. And then we got to the nacho cheese. So the nacho cheese, it was good. I think the main reason it even kind of got ranked higher in the first place when we were still going through it was the nostalgia attached to it. I think the nacho cheese, because it's the original kind of OG Dorito, that like it comes with so much nostalgia that I really enjoy it. But the nacho cheese was okay with the Kush Mints, but I feel like the corn is really what paired well. Like the corn chip, like later, like a base, is really what paired well with the Kush Mints. And then the Cool Ranch, I mean, again, like I'm surprised I'm still gonna eat one because I'm hungry, but
I'm eyeing that chip. I'm eyeing that chip for 20 minutes. I'm gonna eat it eventually.
I was gonna say I was
I don't need it now. It's like,
that's the one I got.
hey, Chuck! I'm kidding. It had an inordinate amount of seasoning on it.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't taste amazing.
Oh fuck yeah.
You didn't lick it off, though, did you?
No, I did not.
You didn't even get to enjoy it.
Oh, I did though, because how.
Oh, I did though.
So hear me out. How the chip was shaped when I bit into it, it like kind of like roofed on my mouth. So
Oh,
like
okay,
all hit
okay.
the top of my mouth.
Okay.
Very pleasant. But like yeah, like right now, I'm enjoying that Cool Ranch because my palate's been kind of cleansed. I've given it a little bit of time. But paired with the Kush Mints, it just didn't go well. Like the creaminess and the ranch didn't go well with the Kush Mints itself. Like if you're pairing the two. Oh yeah, please do. I don't want to stop you there. But oh, that's what I was gonna say. So that chip that I just ate, that's the one when we were going through it earlier, and I grabbed it on accident when I was meant to go to the spicy nacho. That's the next chip. That chip is going through a lot.
That chip has gone through a lot.
But yeah, so that's my ranking of the Doritos. I really am curious to see though, like, what was your final ranking, Paul?
Okay, so my final ranking. This was the final ranking for the Doritos chips. So, right off rip, the spicy nacho, just work our way from worst to last. Spicy nacho was just a horrible chip overall. As a chip review, I'm just gonna lead with that. Like,
It's a horrible chip, period.
Doritos, your chip is shit. Okay, your chip is shit. The spices you picked are shit. This is a shit.
Says the
Okay.
man who does not enjoy spices.
I'm just saying right now is shit. Okay. This is and there's no cheese. It looks like there's cheese, but you're lying. You're lying. It's shit. Now, for people who like spice, my opinion's meaningless. I'll say that because I'm not right 100%. I'll say I'm right with a section of the population that doesn't like spice.
Most of the Midwest.
So from a chip review, garbage, but from a chip and pairing review with the Kush Mint, double garbage. The Kush Mint is amazing, and that chip actually made it taste worse. I want to know how the hell a corporation can make a chip that can make something that tastes so amazing taste worse.
Yeah, that actually.
That is some chip alchemy.
I should have cleansed my palate.
That is chip alchemy.
I regret that.
How dare you, chip alchemists? So, Moving on though, greatest chip in the history of your chip arsenal of creations, Cool Ranch. I am very, very, very impressed in the creation of Cool Ranch. And like I said before, folks, I would love to know what the green and red particles are, because licking those off the chips is very, very tasty. Paired with the Kush Mint concentrate, I was not impressed at all. I just don't think it was a very good flavor combination. And it's not something I probably will recommend myself repeating or to others. Moving on, the Tangy Pickle chip. I am very, very, very impressed with the Tangy Pickle chip in terms of its salt and vinegar and dill combinations. If you're a pickle lover, the Tangy Pickle chip,
Oh yeah.
it's a very, very unique flavor, tasty, and paired with the Kush Mint makes it taste even better. Even better. And that brings me to what's even better than that is the Nacho Cheese Doritos. Nacho Cheese Doritos, classic childhood nostalgia. And I think the low earthy tones of the cheese and the corn chip coupled really, really well with the gassiness and the mintiness of the Kush Mint. But there was a second a most amazing combination, and that was the Doritos taco flavor. That was my first ever time with the Doritos taco flavor. And Tyler pointed out some really, really amazing taste flavor combinations, and that was the bean creamy taco-iness that's in it. It's almost like they took the cheese from the nacho cheese Doritos and mixed it in. It's a very, very tasty chip. And paired with the Kush Mints, the complimenting was through the roof. Excellent, excellent flavor combination.
Definitely.
Now, Salsa Verde is an interesting chip. It's first because the combination was so perfect that it solidified what tastes good in my mouth's mind. It was a very, very interesting time because the Salsa Verde chip alone, I'm not a fan. Doritos, I gotta say, the spice combination was just not me. I had a little spiciness in it. I think you guys recycled a little bit of the spicy nacho and the Salsa Verde. I see what you're doing. Cheap move. Chip alchemist. I see you. And paired with the Kush Mint though, a little weed alchemy. We're gonna make some chip weed alchemy, some cheat alchemy. Okay, the cheat alchemy we got going on here, that taste profile was the cheat alchemy profile. That was supreme. It was almost like a creamy, earthy spiciness.
Yeah.
Like I liked. So yeah, that was my take on the 6 Doritos flavors. Highly recommend the Salsa Verde Kush Mint combination if you have a local dispensary that you could venture out to pick up and try the flavor combo. Highly recommended.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the spiciness of it is so perfectly complemented with the flavor. I think you and I just kind of came to the same agreement with this. Like, Salsa Verde just stands out on its own. And I think they may have taken, for sure, some notes from this, but I think the notes of spice stand out a lot more against the cheese and are a lot stronger and a little spicier.
Question: do you taste any cheese on those spicy nachos?
A little. It's
wow,
not
that was like
really-
such a delayed, like
That's what I mean.
week.
It's
You see Doritos Corby's trying to cover for you, okay? You lied. There ain't no cheese on that chip. It's just spicy Dorito. It's not spicy nacho Dorito.
So, where I was going with it was, see, the nacho cheese though, we kind of had the agreement. The corn is kind of what carried, like the nacho cheese, like the cheese itself has a little bit of earthiness, but
Listen, the nacho cheese, you taste the cheese. I think that's false advertising.
It's light, like still though. Like,
Yeah.
in comparison to the tortilla. So
But
my
the
point
chip's
is,
so red.
So my point is, you take that, mix it with a little bit of flavor, like a little bit of spice.
Well, if we were pairing chips with other chips, I'd agree with you. Okay, real quick, chip pairing. If you want more cheese in your spicy nacho,
That's not what I was saying.
eat a nacho cheese Dorito. Help me here.
No, so what I'm saying is they took this flavor and
Okay.
just literally added spice to it.
Yeah.
So the cheese on this is so like.
But they added less cheese than what they put on that
That's
chip.
fair.
On that
Okay,
chip.
I can agree with that.
That's what I'm saying. If they used the same amount of volume of cheese that was presented on the nacho
See,
cheese
I feel like the
original
nacho cheese-
with that shitty amount of spice
Yeah.
they put on it, It would still suck, but at least you would taste the cheese.
See, I feel like the nacho cheese
It would just suck less.
doesn't have like a ton of cheese on it though. Like that's to me like
I don't know, man. I've licked a lot of
I can
nacho cheese
Cheetos.
chips in my time.
like that's how I look at it.
But we're not talking about Cheetos. We're talking about
I know.
Doritos.
I know. I'm just saying like if you're
Are we
talking
comparing
about
apples to oranges?
if we're talking about like the ratio of coverage, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but again, we're comparing two totally different things because a Cheeto is made and sprayed completely differently to have more cheese on it. That's like saying a cheese puff has more cheese on it than a Dorito nacho cheese.
Okay.
As a
Why
fatty, I
are you
understand
so much
the
about, like,
volumetric additions of cheese between chip poof categories. And Pringles is the shittiest of all of them, believe it or not. They have great salt, but not good on anything else.
I mean they are cheap.
For another episode.
Like price wise and everything.
So this is my Tyler. Before we move on to the special edition chips, do you have any thoughts on the Dorito rankings before we move on?
Any thoughts? I think we both came up with our own own different judgments, and I think it really shows how different our palates are. I definitely leaned a little bit more towards the spicy ones, where you were just understandably so. If you're not a fan of spice was not your jam. So I see the difference between ours is really something, just some of how some of it was mixed up. Like the ends of the spectrum are pretty close. Like I think the spicy nacho on mine was definitely higher, but the Cool Ranch, we're pretty much in agreement. Definitely not a high-ranking one in any way, shape, or form.
And not paired with Kush Mint. It's
And
a great
then-
chip. It's just not a good pairing with the Kush Mint strain terp profile.
Correct. Yes, exactly. Because I love the chip itself, but paired with the Kush Mint is not a thing that I really thought
Not
was
tickle
good.
my fancy.
The Salsa Verde, on the other hand, I think we both agreed that it was just like at the top of its class in this class. Because you never know. There could be, because one flavor we really wanted to look out for in Doritos, I gotta ask, what is up with the drought right now? I went to several different stores, and there's no Dorito flavors besides like, okay, I got lucky. I went last
We
night.
would have had purple Doritos. Those are my all-time
That's
favorite
exactly
Dorito
what-
chip. I was sad. Spicy chili, right?
Yeah, the spicy sweet chili.
Which
Like,
I don't think that would have paired well with Kush Mint. Now, that. Oh man. Okay, funny
I don't know.
Dorito Corp.
Maybe.
Because your spicy nacho is horrible, but your spicy sweet chili I love. And I actually think they recycled a little bit of that spiciness. But the chili comes in to like the sweetness is like a sweet and sour, sweet and heat. And the purple bag's the best in my opinion.
oh yeah, like the purple bag is very interesting because, at least from my understanding, I believe it is the only vegan Dorito. If like we're going down the route of like dietary restrictions or anything for our viewers, so if anybody is a vegan out there, I believe the spicy sweet chili, from what I remember, is a vegan or not like made for the vegans, but it's actually still vegan. The natural flavors and stuff, I don't want to argue about that. I don't really know what the flavors they use and everything else. You can figure that out, but I believe I've seen that these spicy sweet chili are vegan. So
Definitely have to tell us about that in the comments if somebody really knows.
yeah,
Tell
like
us.
if someone wants to correct me or anything, please feel free.
Time to try these new chips. I'm very, very excited. The first chip we're going to try here is the Lay's Cheetos.
Very tasty. I always have to admire it. I'm not that old now. So you have the Cheetos.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna try the Cheetos. Huh. I think this is a very interesting one because paired with the Kush Mints, I think the potato, so the chips with less seasoning on it, pair better with the Kush Mints than the one that I had with more seasoning, because I don't think the seasoning pairs well with the Kush Mints. Honestly, I think the cheese,
I get this like cheap mac and cheese
like after
cheese.
kind of
Yeah, like the cheese that comes out of the mac and cheese pack. It's like the powdery mac and cheese. You know, like not like the nice Kraft one. I'm talking about like the microwave 1 minute one. That's what. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I'm gonna gloss past this one. We're gonna try the. Oh man, look at this! Wow, guys, I'm looking at red and green specks on this chip.
Wow. So get up in this bag if we can. Hope everyone can see it. That is the inside of this beautiful Doritos Cool Ranch flavored
Wow.
Lay's.
Wow. Oh, ooh.
It smells very tasty. I'm very curious to see. I'm gonna have to cleanse my palate because I'm still gonna kind of treat this after we were before. So I really want to separate the flavor because the Cheetos are kind of gross. I think the Cheetos Lay's by themselves without Kush Mints would be fine. I think it would just taste like Cheetos.
Doritos chip right here is it's good. It's not as good as the original Doritos. I think it's like a cool like mix. The Lay's Cheeto, I was not a fan. I think you used a cheap cheese seasoning. Personally, Lay's. It didn't trip my trigger. And the Lay's Doritos Cool Ranch flavored, I think it's better on a corn chip. I don't think it's as good on a potato chip. Not to say that I don't love your potato chips. I think your potato chips are shit. I think better made potato chips are the greatest potato chips in the history of potato chips. Just so everybody's on the same page. So I didn't want to lie and misrepresent myself. I think the greatest potato chip in the history of potato chips is the better made barbecue potato chip. To me, that's me. That's just my own personal Paul's the Prophet World's opinion. That's it. Anybody can think otherwise, but Lay's, I think you got a lot of work to do to beat that. So, you know, that just constructive criticism, because I love Doritos. These Doritos are great. You know, I'm very happy with the outcome of today's tasting, because it's definitely opened up my palate to the different tastes that are in the flavor library of chip corporations such as Lay's, you know?
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I mean, the Cool Ranch and everything, I'm kind of just in my head analyzing it.
I mean, Doritos is a Lay's brand, right? Yeah,
like,
Frito-Lay. Yeah, it's all the same. All the same company. Yeah, Frito-Lay. Yeah. So this is basically the Lay's Terp library right here. This is what you got. Okay, your spice terps suck unless it's the sweet chili. Make more sweet chili, please.
I'm kind of surprised right now. So, comparing the way this ranks in my head versus that does, I really think the potato chips are definitely a step above the corn chip version. And only,
Opposite.
only
Okay.
when compared with the Kush Mints.
Oh, okay.
I think
Yeah, I didn't think the combo with the Kush Mints was well at all. I think the same thing with the seasoning, they just didn't mix well.
To me, the one thing I thought was
Potato chip probably did that in a little bit of a different flavor. Starches.
Well, yeah. So the starches and the Doritos flavored Lay's, to me, reminded me a lot of the sour cream and onion. To me, it just tasted like a slightly different version than the sour cream and onion Lay's. And that, to me, I enjoy those, and I think paired pretty well, because the corn, the flavor of the potato with the flavor of the Cool Ranch was better with the Kush Mints than the corn was, which I'm really surprised, because I feel like I felt like before, and now I'm kind of questioning myself, did the corn actually...
corn, man.
Well, did the corn actually carry this one before in my head, or was it the cheese, like you were saying? Was it the earthiness of the cheese, and I was just misinterpreting which one it was? You know what I'm saying? Because now that I've kind of compared the two side by side, and the fact that I still think this is trash when it comes to pairing with Kush Mints, don't pair Cool Ranch with Kush Mints, please, for the love of God, unless, you know what, actually, you want to prove us wrong, please slide in the comments, DMs, and everything else to let us know I'm wrong, but otherwise, you're wrong. So
Wrong. Lay's Corporation, thank you for coming out with all these different flavors and styles of chips.
very much
We're
so.
very, very happy there. For shout out to them. And another shout out to this episode's sponsor, Illuminar. Follow them on Instagram, Illuminar Lighting. Scott Roubaix from Illuminar Lighting is the coolest guy ever. He can get you guys hooked up in all your LED lighting needs. And with that being said, thank you very much for joining us on the Dabs and Show today. This is the end of episode 2, Dabs and Doritos. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, follow, share. Make sure to add comments in about potential future episodes you think you want to see from us. We love user feedback. Terp CPA.
make sure you're paying attention to 471-3, especially if you're a dispensary, 471-11, if you're a processor, manufacturer, or grower, because if you're not paying attention to these cost of goods sold, different laws, you're not paying attention to what you need to be doing to be adherence to the law, as well as capturing the most costs on your tax return to limit your tax liability as much as you possibly can as a dispensary or cannabis business owner under 280E. We really appreciate you guys coming out and spending time with us today and just enjoying eating Doritos, kind of talking about different things and just, I don't know, talking about life and everything else. And I do appreciate Illuminar, and we hope you have a great night.
Thank you very much. Have a good one. Peace.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of The Dabs and Show. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more at The Dabs and Show.